Welcome to episode 3 of Locker Talk, the show, everything WWE, past, present, and future. I am your host, Colton, as always by my side, my co-host, Matt. Today's show is all about the WWE Hall of Fame, so Matt, why don't you explain it for the folks?
As my co-host Colton said, we're going to be talking about the WWE Hall of Fame. We're specifically going to be talking about people who are not in it. We each took 4 people that we feel should be in the WWE Hall of Fame, and we'll give you reasons why. We'll give you their gold status, anything. I don't know what he did. He doesn't know what I did. This is our first time hearing it. Back to you, Colton, for our first rundown.
All right, my first pick is Bruiser Brody, a wrestler's name if there ever was one. Bruiser Brody. He was the innovator of the hardcore style of wrestling. He was a legitimate tough guy and would just beat the crap out of anyone he faced in the ring. He wasn't afraid to bleed long before it was widely accepted that you could do that. He's won multiple world heavyweight championships in Japan as well as in America. He's won many tag team champions with the like of Stan Hansen and Kerry Von Erich. He's recently been put into the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and so he's definitely deserving to go in the WWE Hall of Fame. He's an innovator of the hardcore style of wrestling. Matt, what do you got?
Well, Colton, my first pick didn't win jack squat when it comes to gold. Brian Pillman, he won 5 total titles, and I'm pretty sure Santino Marella held the Intercontinental Championship longer with his honka-tonka meter. But he did win Feud of the Year in 1997, but I'm not here to talk about his gold status. I'm here to talk about him as an innovator of wrestling. Attitude Era. There was a lot of attitudes going on. There was a lot of different styles going on. But Brian Pillman was the only one that came up with power and high flying meets just insanity. The rumors are true, folks. He is the father of Dean Ambrose and CM Punk. I know it's taboo, but I will mention his name from time to time. He did exist. He did everything. He broke the fourth wall and talked to us as we are people, not just fans. He was insane. He was crazy. He held a gun and went to Stone Cold's house. And that is why he belongs. Back to you, Colton.
All right, well, Matt, you just mentioned the honka-tonka meter. So we got to talk about my next guy, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time at a staggering 454 days, the Honky Tonk Man. What is there to say about the Honky Tonk Man? Elvis stole this man's gimmick. Everyone knows the Honky Tonk Man. He's just instantly recognizable as one of the great stars of all time. Honestly, he's one of the greatest bad guys of all time. He was easily made you to hate him. I don't know what to say. The Intercontinental title on its own should be enough. He's the Honky Tonk Man. He's cool. He's cocky. He's bad. Matt, back to you.
Good points. I'm going to tell you guys something about myself. I am a Paul Heyman guy. And my next person was managed by Paul Heyman himself. I'm talking about Bam Bam Bigelow. Over 300-pound super heavyweight, and if my calculations are correct, he was the first one to do it on a high-flying scale, spinning heel kicks, jump off the top rope, give you the elbow. He could do it all. He wrestled in WCW, ECW, and WWF/WWE. I mean, he was a hardcore guy. He was an extreme guy. He was a wrestler. He did it all. He was a 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, 4-time Tag Team Champion, and he was a main eventer in the WWE in the 90s in the Attitude Era. You guys know how hard that was if you're wrestling fans, and he did it. And if anything, he was managed by the great Paul Heyman, and that is why he belongs. Back to you, Colton.
All right, Matt, I see your 300-pound super heavyweight. And I raise you a 400-pound super heavyweight. It's time. It's Vader time. Time for Vader to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. What other 400-pound man can do a moonsault off the top rope? I don't know anyone but Vader. He's a 3-time WCW champion, a multiple-time tag team champion, and U.S. champion. He was rated the #1 wrestler by PWI in the year 1993. He's known as the guy who cut off Mick Foley's ear in a match in Germany. Let me tell you about how big of a man Vader is, and I don't mean his 400-pound size. In a match with Stan Hansen, he had his eye knocked out of his socket, and he finished the match. Sin Cara twinges his finger and then calls for the referee to stop. I don't know about you, but just on that, he should be champion. But the cherry on top of the delicious sundae that is his Hall of Fame career is the fact that he was on the greatest television show of all time, Boy Meets World. Matt, can you top Boy Meets World?
I don't think I can top Boy Meets World, but I can top the manliness. And with that, I'm going to use Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of violence himself. This was a bad mamma jam if there ever was one. I mean, this guy was an 11-time world heavyweight champion, 14-time hardcore champion. Count them up, people, that's 33 total titles. That's a lot of moolah, man. I mean, he was, like I said, the innovator of violence, and he was ECW's equivalent of Hulk Hogan. What I mean by that, folks, is he literally pushed this promo of ECW when it was a little baby with my man Paul Heyman to make it what it is today, a legendary promotion. I mean, he was great, and not only could you rely on him to go out there and have a hardcore match that Mick Foley would be jealous of, you could also take those weapons away from him, put him in there with Kurt Angle, and have him do a 40-minute to 4-minute match of technical wrestling, and I guarantee you'll be entertained, and that is why he belongs. Back to you, Colton.
All right, my last pick is my favorite pick, the team that inspires my fantasy football team every single year, all the way from Bad Street, USA, the fabulous Freebirds. Michael P.S. Hayes, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, and Buddy Roberts. The Freebirds, there was no hotter team in the 1980s in wrestling in the state of Texas than the Freebirds. Their rivalry with the Von Erichs will go down easily as one of the greatest feuds in wrestling history. Everyone was crazy about this feud back then. It was great. I suggest you go watch it on the WWE Network for the low, low price of $9.99. Cheap pop. Now, the Freebirds are innovators. They're the first team to use entrance music. They were the first people to use entrance music in wrestling, period. They made entrance music what it is today. Also, Freebird rule, the ability for any team of greater than 2 people to defend the title with any of the members in the team. Freebird rule, they are innovators, and with WrestleMania coming to Austin, Texas next year, who better to headline next year's Hall of Fame than the fabulous Freebirds? Matt, I know this is the pick we've all been waiting for. There's been rumors all over the internet. What's your last pick?
The main event tonight is brought to you by Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Brawler, folks. We're talking about a manly man over here that will go down to the ring, punch his opponent square in the mouth, and then lose. Yes. He held 34 total titles. I can't even lift that much gold. I mean, that's a lot, man. Guarantee you none of it was in the WWE, but that doesn't change anything. He still held them. I mean, this guy was the greatest jobber of all time. He was the wrestling equivalent of the Spanish announce table, and I know how we all love that Spanish announce table. I mean, someone had to get out there and push these guys over. Someone had to lay down on that dirty talk for the 1, 2, 3, and lose every match almost. I mean, he was great. He pushed all these guys over, and all joking aside, I really do believe he exudes what a wrestler is, and a true selfless wrestler. He never went into business for himself. I can't say the same about Bill Goldberg. My bad. But that's our picks right now. Colton, back to you.
Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this show. Those are our 8 guys. What do you think? Do you agree with us? Do you think there's someone who deserves it better than those 8 guys? If so, leave us a message in the comment section below or follow us on Twitter. Leave us a message at wwelockertalk. If you feel like it, you can shoot us an email, but it's a little weird, so I don't know why you would do that. Matt, I know there's a few things you want to say, so what do you got?
I do. As we're going, and this is our 3rd match, we're getting a little fan base. It's little, mind you, but it's still a fan base, and we love every single one of you guys.
Yes, we do.
One of our bigger fans, and I'd like to shout them out because they're amazing, at RTM Wrestling. Go follow them on Twitter. Go follow their podcast because they're great. We love them. They love us. We'll be collaborating with them soon before WrestleMania to talk about WrestleMania. Big promotion. Them and Us are the best WWE podcasts. You better believe that, brother. The next guy is our number 1 fan, Daniel Farmer. I apologize. I don't know the Twitter handle right now, but he's a cool guy on Twitter. You should maybe go follow him. I don't know. But he gave us our next topic. And so the next time you'll see us, we will be talking about NXT and the great work those boys are doing down there, and former WWE superstars that are no longer wrestling in WWE. And so that's all we have for you right now. If there's anything left, hashtag get a hug from Bailey.
Woo, woo, woo.
You know it.